Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Emmis. Sue O'Connell has the night off. Now, here's a fearless prediction for the weekend. No matter what your plans are, you'll spend more time obsessing over the weather in Texas than here at home in New England. That's a guarantee. Well, this is Galveston, Texas. Take a look here. This video was shot when Hurricane Harvey was just getting started. Now, the predictions, they're a little scary. Total rain extremes from Harvey, they are off the charts. Now, you might think I'm making this up, but some storm watchers, including some of the ones here at NBC Boston and NECN, they're saying 50 to 60 inches of rain in parts of that area. That could happen, all of it impacted by Harvey. You take a live look right now. This is in Galveston, Texas. Boy, it's going to be a couple days, actually into the midweek, that we could see some serious rain for that area. Now, so far, anyone can watch Harvey while enjoying mild summer temperatures and sunshine, at least on Saturday. But for now, New England weather is nothing to complain about. It's been gorgeous the last couple days and continues to be gorgeous as we move on. So if you have pay-per-view, there's another extreme overblown event you might want to watch, considered by some. I'm referring to that Mayweather-McGregor match of the century, but is it really? We're going to talk about it. My guest is Alex Reimer of WEEI Radio. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here.
All right, so we were just talking about it before we came on here. I just saw the weigh-in.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, I'll probably get it because I'm a sucker for the spectacle, but I wish I wasn't. I mean, Mayweather is just such a despicable character. You talk about a guy, 7 arrests or citations for domestic violence, served a 60-day prison sentence, and is just so glib about it. You know, he says, no pictures, there's never been proof. Because he's gotten away with it. He hasn't suffered in terms of endorsements. One of the highest paid fighter out there. Brady is friends with him. ESPN kisses his behind. I mean, this guy has paid no price for his domestic violence. It's despicable. But hey, he's a spectacle, and I'll probably buy in like everyone else.
I think that's the thing. You know, a lot of people just say, we know it's going to happen.
Right.
He's going to win. He's going to beat McGregor, but you just want to watch it anyway.
Right, and the fight will probably be terrible. I mean, we were saying off the air, I'm not a boxing guy, but McGregor's not a boxer, so how could he beat Mayweather 49-0? I mean, the Pacquiao fight was a letdown. I think this one will be a letdown. But again, it's about the whole show, right? It's not really about the boxers, at least for a guy like me.
How about for a guy like McGregor, come from very humble beginnings in Ireland and now coming here? He basically got this fight and is going to make anywhere from 70 to close to $100 million, coming from really nowhere. And with his, very charming, he's a funny guy. People like him. Just his outfits alone or something. What are your thoughts on him going into this fight?
Well, I guess that's the American dream, right? You know, it can be a good fighter and make tens of millions of bucks. I'm not a big UFC guy, but I mean, McGregor, prior to this in that promotional tour they were doing, I don't know, he was going almost as low as Floyd was, right? So, like, Floyd Mayweather would make a homophobic remark, and then McGregor in the press conference goes, oh, yeah, well, I'll say I'm black below the waist. I'll make a racial remark. How about that? So, I mean, I think they both are playing to the lowest common denominator building up to this.
When we get into fights, though, pre-fights and we're building up a fight, isn't that the spot for that stuff, though? Isn't this the one arena, I guess, where that's kind of acceptable?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be sleazy. It's supposed to be slimy. I mean, Don King is the man of boxing, right? And who's a sleazier character than him? So, yeah, it's supposed to feel like you want to take a shower after you watch one of these things, and I'm sure it'll be the same way tomorrow night.
And again, this fight is going to be before the Triple G fight with Canelo Alvarez, which is going to be a huge fight as well. I'm interested, you mentioned it too, the numbers for this fight should be interesting. I know that they're going to make big money. I want to see what it's like compared to other big fights in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Mayweather-Pacquiao thing, I wonder how much or if that will deter people, Chris, from buying this thing, because that was such a build-up. As big as this one is, I think that build-up was even bigger, and that fight was horrible. It was a snooze fest. I mean, I stayed awake for the whole thing, so I was the winner, really, in that one. It was not a good watch, but we'll see if that deters people.
Before we change topics, does Mayweather win?
Yes, of course.
By knockout or by decision?
Knockout.
Knockout.
We know he's a defensive fighter, but McGregor's not a boxer.
He's not a boxer.
Again,
that's true. All right, we're going to go to that big trade that everyone was talking about this week. Kyrie Irving now coming to the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Of course, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, another player, and also that big pick. We'll get to that pick in a second. But your overall thoughts on the trade? Good trade or bad trade for Boston?
Oh, it's a great trade for the Celtics. I mean, Kyrie Irving is a top 10 player in this league. He's a better player than Isaiah Thomas. We love IT. Did great. He brought the Celtics back on this run much quicker than anyone thought was possible, but he's 28, has a bad hip, free agent at the end of the year. Irving is younger, he's 25, signed for longer, healthier, and just much better, much more accomplished player. So Celtics get the best player, they win the deal.
Let me ask you this, with this deal, the Celtics did give up quite a bit.
They did.
To do this. Did you think that the pick that they gave up, because they did have other picks that they could,
right.
Did you think that maybe they could have maybe given up just a little bit less? Are you okay with that pick going?
No, because are you going to draft a player with that pick who's as good as Kyrie Irving? Probably not. And this pick is basically Irving, and this trade is basically Irving for the pick, since Thomas is a free agent at the end of the year, and Jay Crowder and Ante Zizic, are role players. And also, they still have a potential lottery pick next year. If the Lakers are within 2 and 5, the Celtics will get that, or the Kings in 2019. So they're not totally out of the draft lottery business either.
Let's talk a little bit about the Cavaliers now, too. So Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder go there. Isaiah Thomas is a proven scorer, that's without a doubt, and that's really what Kyrie Irving does, matched up with LeBron James. So now looking at both of these rosters right now, I know it's tough with the Celtics because it's basically going to be a new starting five pretty much.
Right.
Who's better right now? I know it's tough to do this before the season.
Well, right now it still has to be Cleveland because LeBron James is still the best player in the world. And for 2017, 2018, Isaiah Thomas and Irving might be close to a wash. The Celtics win this deal, though, because in the future, Kyrie Irving is going to be worlds better than Thomas. So again, it's 28, 5'9", bum hip. I don't like the future.
Quickly, do you think Isaiah Thomas gets a max deal after this season?
He does, because everyone gets a max
Everybody
deal.
does. I think you're right. All right, we're going to move on now. Colin Kaepernick still without a job. Roger Goodell, he gets an extension.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about what's going on here. Your thoughts on Kaepernick not having a job yet in the NFL?
Oh, he's totally blackballed, and I mean, it's beyond obvious now. You saw the NAACP had a rally the other day in New York, 1,200 people come, and I was reading a good piece by Sally Jenkins in the Washington Post. I mean, this is just a horrible look for the league from the standpoint that you have an outspoken African-American talking about an issue and issues that are important to the black community, like police brutality, and he's getting blackballed by a bunch of old, white billionaires. Like, yuck, right? I mean, there are much more deplorable characters in this league than Colin Kaepernick. So that's the story to watch for this year. I mean, 15% of the NFL's viewing audience is black. 70% of its players are black. You're seeing more protests this year than the previous year. So this is not going away, not in the least.
Do you see a scenario where a big injury happened, let's say in the preseason or early on in the regular season, where some team says, hey, listen, we need a quarterback. Got to, because I thought there'd already be a couple teams that would make a move for him, but still nobody has. Do you see a scenario of that happening?
I do. I think at some point someone will be desperate enough. The Jaguars owner today said, yeah, I'd be open to signing Kaepernick. I mean, all it takes is one, right? And there are quarterback injuries all the time. So I still do think he finds work this year.
And, we've seen, and going back to the Kaepernick situation, the NAACP getting involved, Black Lives Matter. We saw some protests outside the NFL offices in New York City. What do you think the right move is now for the NFL going forward to try and deal with it? Because this looks like it's getting bigger and bigger.
Well, I mean, there's not really much the league office can do. I mean, Roger Goodell and his underlings are powerful, but they can't force owners to sign players they don't want to sign. So the league really can't do anything about it. But for the reasons I mentioned, I'm sure Goodell would like to see Kaepernick get a job because it's going to be even a bigger headache this year than last year.
Do you think that there are certain teams out there, let's say, for example, like we just saw the Jaguars, Chad Henne's going to be the starting quarterback, not a good quarterback at all. No. That makes it worse and worse. Do you see some of maybe the lower teams just trying for some good PR to make it look good, to just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, that always is a factor. I'm not sure how good the PR would be, though, in those local markets, right? Because, I mean, Kaepernick is a very divisive figure. And, look, he certainly has had some mistakes here. I mean, the Pig Sox last year, bad look. Praising Fidel Castro probably takes him out of the running in Miami with that Cuban population. So he has not made it easy on himself, Kaepernick. He certainly is divisive. But, again, I think eventually he will get signed.
Can't see him being a Dolphin at all. Alex Reimer of WEEI Radio, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Absolutely, anytime.
Good to talk to you. All right, so to come here, it's a supernova of celebrity trash talk, the top 10 hot list. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.